right, guys. All right. We are live. We are live with the semifinal of the Collegiate Chess League. All right, let's see. So we have Mizzou A versus Princeton. Very strong team from Princeton. We have a national master. We have, who else do we have? We have, I think Daniel Moreno is an international master. I might be wrong. Probably I'm wrong. Penguin GM obviously is the famous Andrew Tang. And then who else do we have? VK Panch, who I think I know who it is probably Panchanatham. He's a guy, if I'm not mistaken, from the Bay Area. I've trained him, I think, a while ago, but I'm not 100% sure if it's him. Anyway, I think it's him. VK Panchanatham, that's basically looks like him. So Oparin scored, Antipov scored, Chris scored, and Raja has not scored. So right now, 3-1 for Mizzou going into the second round. Let's go with Grigoriy, shall we? Let's. Oh my goodness! He's playing the bank cloud. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? All right. Hey, Joe. So he is actually playing the bank cloud. He's laughing. He probably knows what's happening. He probably knows that he's going to get a talking. Or maybe he just studied. Maybe he studied a PDF, and this is just because I would assume you guys know about the PDF. It's a very famous PDF explaining the way white should be playing this type of positions. Obviously, a very popular PDF right now, a very popular opening. A terrible opening. I mean, I'm a coach. I'm not going to tell you that this is a good opening. This is the worst opening you can play. To be honest, if the score was not 3-1, and I would be very upset. But good start for Mizzou for the moment. So I wouldn't worry too much just yet. His opponent is actually burning a lot of time. He psyched out his opponent for over 40 seconds. Well, I mean, look. You're going to believe that your opponent is going to play something semi-serious when it's a semi-final of the Collegiate Chess League, yeah? And then Grigoriy plays this thing against Daniel Moreno, who once again, I think he's like a 2400 in real life. Like on chess.com, he's 2400. I think if it's Daniel Moreno, which I think he is, he's around 2400, but I might be mistaken. Positional, tactical, strategic, dynamic, and solid opening. Yeah, for sure. All right, so obviously Grigoriy is just having some fun. And to be honest, the position is not even that bad anymore. The only problem is that the king is going to stay in the center forever. You would love to castle. Like, if you would have lost a couple of tempis and then you can castle, the position wouldn't be that bad. Because you would just go knight g3, play for f4, potentially try to open up this bishop. The problem is that you cannot castle, so your king stays in the center. That's the big problem for the moment. Daniel is like 2100 USCF. Okay, so he's not the guy that I'm thinking about. Right, Sign Riddle. Yeah. I didn't even see it, sorry. I didn't even see it. Okay, so d4, I kind of like this move for black. It's a decision you have to make. You have to close one of these bishops. Which one is it going to be? Most likely you want to allow this bishop to breathe, but close this guy, because this guy on b2 has a lot more targets on this diagonal. The bishop on g2, not so much. It's kind of an empty diagonal. Of course, you're still attacking the knight on c6, but not much more than that. e4, now you're going to start playing for this f5 square, probably try to redirect the knight there, maybe even go f4 and try to open the position like that. Hey Stacy, Grisha is up 2 minutes. Well, look, it's a good position so far. Let's jump around the corner a little, around the horn a little bit and see, oh my goodness, what's happening here? What is happening here? This is Grandmaster Mikhail Antipov, who is playing board number 2 for Mizzou. Right now is looking really good. I don't know how this knight landed on d6, to be honest. But, ooh. And Mikhail Antipov has one of the most spectacular styles that I've seen from a chess player. He's very creative. He always looks to find interesting ways to deal with any sort of positions, even positions that look very, very simple. He's going to find a way to complicate matters and find an unconventional way to deal with the position. So very, very exciting player. We're lucky that he plays for Mizzou. He won a couple of World Championship medals in the recently concluded World Championship, World University Championship. So he started off with a win in this game. Right now he's standing at 1 out of 1. He's playing against Aaron Master, national master from Princeton. All right, this one is looking good. If you take on e4, first of all, you're just going to be checkmated. And if you don't take on e4, then I'm just going to take on d4. Then I'm going to sacrifice on d5. This position, to be honest, is kind of hopeless, I would say, for black. I think the position is just completely lost already. So queen f8, of course, you're trying to attack the knight on e4 because queen f7 is not checkmate anymore, but now the knight just transfers to f7. Yeah, put the knight to f7, and then take on d4, and then take on d5. I mean, look at these pieces. Look at all of the pieces, all of black's pieces. They're just like so badly placed. Hey, Clara. Hey, Booyah. Yeah, g5 just, I mean, I would just take on if you take on d5, g5 is a clever move because you're actually threatening to take on f7. So rook d5, you just take on f7, and you would be a piece up. Of course, white still has some serious compensation, but it's not the same. Now, an interesting move for white would be to go queen to a3 and start looking on this diagonal. And yeah, beautiful. He finds it. He finds it. Very nice. What was Mizzou's route to the semifinals? So we played in the regular season, and then I think in the quarterfinals we won against I want to say Stanford. I think it was Stanford in the semifinals. In the quarterfinals, sorry. And that was a couple of, maybe last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, this one is just completely winning. c4 is going to come next move. There's absolutely nothing you can do as black. Let's just go around the horn and see what Christopher Repka is doing against the Penguin GM. Penguin GM, that's Grandmaster Andrew Tang, who scored the only victory for Princeton in round number 1. And to be honest, is looking pretty decent at this point as well. So he's a pawn up, of course. White's king is a little bit uncovered, so you're going to have to suffer because of that. But you do have the 2 bishops as white, so that should mean something. And of course, this knight is coming to d6, not only attacking the rook on c8, but also defending the pawn on c4. I have to say, I kind of like white's position. Nevertheless, black has his compensation. So for example, I would go something along the lines of knight e5, knight d6, and then maybe rook c6, try to double up and try to put some pressure on the c pawn. King looks a little bit sketchy. Yeah. Again, king looks sketchy, but he is up a pawn. And if you don't manage, like this king is going to take advantage of the fact that black doesn't have a dark square bishop, and is going to go to a1. And then from a1, you're not going to be able to attack it very easily. This queen, this fianchetto queen, looks quite strong. That's the way to go for white. That's the way. And they're following the variation that I was mentioning, which makes a lot of sense. Now, bishop g3 looks like a very strong move because the knight would have to move, and then knight on d6 will be nicely placed. There's no way to defend that knight on e5. That's the problem. Oh, queen to d4. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Things are starting to get quite sharp, as Clara was mentioning. Maybe rook d8 could be an idea to try to play for bishop e6. Even knight takes c4 could be an idea. I actually think knight takes c4 makes a lot of sense. Followed out by b5. And by the way, it seems like Grigoriy won with the bomb cloud. Grigoriy won with the bomb cloud. Let's see how this happened. There he is. Let's see how... oh my goodness, what happened here? Oh, he just beat him on time. Wow. That's rough. That is rough. 2-0 with a bomb cloud. Yeah, this is just a rook up. I don't know how this happened, but... And let's go to the last game. A player that we haven't checked so far with. And that is Harshit Raja, international master from Mizzou. He lost in the first round against Andrew Tang and is now trying to bounce back in this game against VK Panchanatham. Exchange up. White has a pawn for that. Actually, no. Yeah, there is a pawn for that exchange. So most likely the position is close to equality. Nevertheless, it must be black who is playing for a victory in this at this point. For the simple fact that this pawn potentially, the B pawn is going to become a pass pawn, and supported by the rook, that's going to be a huge threat. Yep, nice start, Grigoriy. 2-0 with the bomb cloud. Doing what you're supposed to be doing. By the way, Antipov also won his round against Aaron Masters, so that's like 2-0 for Mizzou in this round. 5-1 on the overall, and let's remind everybody, the match basically is won whenever the first team, any of the teams, reaches 8.5 points. So only 3.5 points already. That's good. That's a good start in the first two rounds. Isn't Andrew Tang at Princeton? Yes, he is. In fact, let's go to that game because this one is interesting, but let's go to the Penguin GM's game because I think it was quite spectacular what was happening. The king on c1 definitely was looking very strange, and this knight on d6 is kind of holding everything. So it's holding this rook from going to c4, it's holding this rook from going to c8. This knight is pretty much not only a very actively and offensively placed piece for white, but also a defensive coordinator kind of for black. Nevertheless, this b4 is looking good. I like what he's doing. Bishop e6, just follow up with attacking the pawn on a2. This is the most natural move in the position. I like this one. I like this one for black. Yes, bishop e6. We have 45 seconds for Penguin GM against 44 seconds for Chris Repka, who you guys can see on the screen right there. He's playing from the chess room at the University of Missouri. Rook takes a2, queen takes c5, rook a1. What is that? What is that? Wait, isn't that? Ah, rook takes a2. He wants to take with the pawn. Wow. He wants to take with the pawn, and then rook takes b2, take on f6, and you don't have rook a1. That's a good move by Andrew. That is a good move, and I have to say I missed this move, and I think Chris missed it as well, because right now he's struggling to find something. I think you still have to go for rook a2. Yep, f takes c5 has to be played. That's going to be a piece up. Now start going for this pawn, probably queen g5. Queen d4. Yeah, this one is looking rough. This extra piece is a monster on d6. Time scramble, Tang wins. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Grandmaster Forrester? I don't know. Andrew still has to figure out his king. Nevertheless, I don't really have a lot of attackers as black. I just have this rook, but it's nicely controlled by the queen on d4. The white's defenders are so centralized, so well placed, and they're defending pretty much everything. It's just very difficult to create anything at this point. Rook to b8, that's an interesting move. With 8 seconds on the clock, I like it. If you take, and then I have some rook b1s coming. I like what he's doing. I like this rook b8, creating some imbalances. Rook, yes, keep going. Yeah, queen d6 is a problem. Bishop d3, take on e4, take on c5. Okay, what is this? Take on c5, king b1. You can take on e5. How many pawns is that? f5. Ah, a5, I like this one. Go rook Rook b4. Yeah. Keep going. Rook b4. No, come on. Rook b4 I think was a good move. Bishop d5, and now the position is starting to become a little bit unpleasant. Yeah. If white managed to get the bishop on b3 and the pawn on e4 like this, this is not good. Yeah, rook takes f7. This one is not looking good for Chris. By the way, Raja made a draw on board number 4. There's going to be a checkmate coming on h7. Yeah, this is pretty much game over. Seems like Chris knows it. Penguin wins for Princeton. So right now we have 2.5 to 1.5 in round number 2 for Mizzou. Let's update the scores really quick, and then we're going to get going with round number 3. Let's see. So Grigoriy has 2 points. Mikhail has 2 points. Incredible Bubachik, that's Chris Repka, stays on 1 point. And then Raja Harshit scores half a point. And now we're waiting to start in round number 3. Mizzou is at 5.5 points. And Princeton is at 2.5 points. Am I making the... Yeah, I think my math is correct. Yes, 5.5 to 2.5. Is this blindfold? No, it's not. No, it's not. All right. Let's get going. Let's get going with... If I'm seeing another bunk cloud from Grigoriy. Whoa. What's happening here? All right, so this is the game between Penguin GM and Mikhail Antipov. This is a big battle, of course, and I just saw knight e4. So this knight is unpre, but of course you cannot take it because I'm going to take on b2 and you're going to lose the rook on a1. That's an interesting way of playing. That's an interesting way of playing this position. I've never seen it like this. Now bishop f5 probably, g5, also an idea. I have a feeling Mikhail has some analysis here because he usually does. He usually analyzes this type of very strange positions. Yep. There we go. Let's see what's going to happen now. So a very interesting idea is to go bishop f5, bishop d3, and then probably knight takes g3, bishop g7. I think this might be too slow. Bishop f5 I think was a better move. Mikhail is going to win this game. Well, let's hope so. Absolutely. Beg him. All right. We're going to keep an eye on this one, but let's go to see what Grigoriy is doing. He did not... Oh, he did play the bunk cloud again. Against VK Panchanatham. e4, e6, d4, king e7 is the way this game started. Very bad. Very bad. Oh my goodness. But at least he's playing fast. So he definitely studied it. He's been doing a lot of bunk cloud studying, it seems like. I thought the line Mikhail is playing goes g5, not queen b6. I will have to review that. I haven't seen exactly the way it started, but I mean, I don't know. This one is not looking good for Grigoriy. The problem is that white is actually going to go f4, f5 right now. f4, bishop d3, f5, or f4, h5. I'm going to break you on the king side. That's the problem. And the question is, how are you? I guess he's going to hide this king via king d7. This is the only thing that makes any sense at this point. Yeah, g5, f4. That's the problem. I'm just going to create this very annoying pawn structure for black. I'm going to force you to create some weaknesses using my pawns. So yeah, bishop takes f4, you're going to take. Then I'm just going to put the rook on f1, and okay, you have a nice bishop on c6, but your king is so weak. This one is not looking good. I might be wrong. I'm not sure, Roman. We will definitely look at it in just a second. Let's see what incredible Bubachik is doing as well, just because we're at the start of the game. Okay, nothing major has happened. A ready opening. White is probably going to go c4, knight c3, b4, try to open up the position on the queen side, the typical King's Indian type of attacks. And black, of course, is going to try to create some expansion on the king side. Okay, this one. Hey, what's up, King Stove? Let's go back to Mikhail's game, because this has to be the marquee matchup of the round. The one between Mikhail Antipov playing the black pieces for Mizzou and Penguin GM, that is Andrew Tang, playing the white pieces for Princeton. Andrew is already on 2 out of 2, so he's doing really well for Princeton. And Mikhail also on 2 out of 2. So this is going to be an interesting affair. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from black. So, of course, rook b1, queen c7, you're going to go back. And then if you do close up the position with d5, which I don't think you want to do as white. Oh, so he took, and he took on h7. Wow, that's brave. That's really brave. I guess it makes some sense. The most natural move in this position was to go bishop d3, but Andrew plays this move h4, try to open up this rook and basically defend this bishop like that. Now if you go f5, I'm going to be able to take, and then I'm going to threaten to go something along the lines of bishop g6, discovery check, in some lines. But he plays g4. Okay, I like this move. Bishop to e4. Now this bishop is rerouting to d5. That's a very safe square because of the pawn on c4. So white took a pawn. And I'm not convinced there's a lot of compensation for it. So I have to say, I think Andrew Tang is doing quite well for Princeton in this one. Hey, good to see you, Kingsdove. Thanks for stopping by, man. Queen to d6. All right. Let's see what's happening. Oh, he takes another pawn. Okay, queen to c6. No, he goes for castle. No, but right now it's just 2 pawns up. Right now there's actually absolutely no compensation. Yeah, right now this game is almost over pretty much. You have to make f4 happen somehow, but it's almost impossible to do that because the rook on b7 is active, attacks the knight on e7, keeps this queen tied to the protection of the knight on e7, so you're not going to be able to use the queen to go f4. And if you try to make f4 via knight g6, then I'm just simply going to have h5. So the position is kind of stuck for black. No way to create any sort of counter chances, and in the meantime I'm just going to start picking up pawns. I'm already 2 pawns up, and you still have a lot of weaknesses to tend to. I don't like this one. I don't like what Mikhail has done in this one. So let's go back for just a second to Grigory's game to see if he's surviving that that bank cloud. Yeah, this one is not looking good. This one is not looking good. And I have to say, look, I mean, if you play the bank cloud, you're gonna have to expect this type of situations. White is just okay. White is actually not anything up right now, and if black manages to get his king to c8 somehow, he's probably going to be fine. So bishop takes c3. And now what? How do you hide? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the compensation. Because I'm going to take on h6. You cannot take on g6 because I have queen h5, pinning the rook, and then that rook is going to be lost. He's probably thinking to take it. He's probably thinking to take queen h5 and bishop e4. So he decides to go for bishop e4 first. Yeah, this one is not looking good. Should we do a bank cloud only tournament? That could be an interesting idea. That could be an interesting idea, Joe. Still, 2 minutes each. It's a blitz game. Anything can happen. Probably black is going to try to put the queen on d5 and then run the king to c6. And then just hide it there. Take advantage of the fact that we have this opposite color bishop situation. So position is not dead yet for black. He's not in a good situation, but it's not dead yet. So anything can happen. Let's see what's happening in Chris Repka's game as well. Okay, Chris is doing well. This knight on f6 is looking nice, controlling this e8 square for the rook. b5, sure. Knight to c5, and then I have to find a way to get the rook to e7. That's basically the idea. And it seems like Raja has won his game. That's an important victory. That takes Mizzou to 6.5 points, only 1.5 point away from clinching the match victory. So that's a good start. That's a good start. Let's go back to this game between Mikhail and the Penguin GM, because Penguin GM, Andrew Tang, has only 30 seconds on the clock, and the position is a bit imbalanced. Black is trying to go g3. Oh, wait, can I go g3? Bishop b5. You cannot take on g3. Okay, queen h7. And what now? Now the pawn is just going to go down the board. You cannot, first of all, you cannot put this knight anywhere because you're pinned. And even if you go king f6 and then try to get it out, you're still pinned. You have to get the knight somehow in the game, but there's actually no direct way to do that. So I think these pawns are just going to go down the board. You can stop one of them, or at least you can try stopping one of them with bishop c3, but you cannot stop both of them, both the a and the c pawn. So one of them is going to queen. Yeah, queen to f5. Well, first of all, queen to b3, I think, is just game over on the spot. Queen to b3, forcing knight to d5, then rook to d1, king to e6, rook takes d5, queen takes d5, queen takes c3, and that's game over. Yeah, this one seems to be game over. Rook d1. Yeah, rook takes d5. There's no perpetual. So I can just go rook takes d5, take, queen takes c3, rook, queen d1, king to h2, and okay, he decides to go h6. Queen to b8. Okay, but he has 4 seconds. Whoa. I don't know. With 4 seconds, anything can happen with 4 seconds. Let's just put it this way. Anything can happen with 4 seconds. I've seen 50 plus moves with less than 2 seconds. So let's remind everybody, time control. This is 5 plus 2. So he does have some increment. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Okay, queen d6. c7 probably. Queen d7. Okay, wait a minute. This is starting to become a little bit interesting. Yeah, queen to f3. Probably you have to go queen f3 just to try to do something against the king. But queen f3, I can just... You probably have to go queen f3 though. Queen f3, rook d6 is a problem, and then queen e6 is coming, and I'm tying the queen under... Ooh, queen e6. What is this? Okay, what's happening here? Andrew moved with 1 second on the clock. Andrew moved with 1 second on the clock. Playing with fire. Definitely playing with fire. But I guess he has the skills to do that. A very tense game. 30 seconds for Mikhail. He's trying to find a way. Okay, take. Knight c8. Now rook c4. King to d5 most likely. Yeah. Check. Okay. So what's the idea? What if I go king e5? Ah, he wants to go rook to d8. Yeah, this makes sense. And now I'm just going to take the pawns. That's just simply way too many pawns. That's like 4 pawns against the rook, and 4 pawns against 2 pieces. There's just too many. Too many. Yeah, this is game over, and it's actually should be quite easy. Now I'm just going to start pushing my pawns. Yeah, f4, knight to c5, get a knight to e4. Okay, maybe. I mean, yeah, the king will go to f3. It's just impossible to stop so many pawns. A blunder is required by white to allow black into the game, which I don't see it happening. The position is just a bit too easy. We're going to stick with this one and see if Andrew manages to convert. And then we're going to move around the horn and see what's happening in the other ones. Grigoriy won another game with a Buncloud, from what I'm seeing. So we only need half a point. Maybe we're going to convert. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Chris, because if Chris wins this one, then I think Mizzou clinches and goes to the finals with 1 round to spare, which is quite a good thing. Yeah, and now just rook e5, or you can, yeah. Why not rook e5? Rook e5, rook h3 was a problem. Wait a minute. Oh wait, never mind. I'm just realizing Chris is actually the one with down in exchange. Chris is actually the one down in exchange. Okay, now check, and that's a draw, right? Wait, what's happening? Rook a5, only move almost. Wait, rook e7? What if I go on this side? What if I pick you on that side right now? No, not bishop c6. Oh, but he won on time. He won on time. So Chris wins on time and clinches the match for Mizzou. And Penguin GM did win that game against Mikhail Antipov. So let's update the scores really quick. Grigoriy won his game. So he moves on to 3 out of 3 with the bunk cloud. Mikhail Antipov remains on 2 out of 3. Chris scores an important victory, 2 out of 3. And then Harshit also wins his game. And that takes him to 1.5 points. 3 plus 2, that's 5. Plus 2, that's 7. Plus 1.5, that's 8.5. And that clinches the match for Mizzou. Going into the final round. And we're seeing a double bunk cloud. We're seeing some serious theory, serious bunk cloud theory right now between Grigoriy Oparin and Penguin GM, Andrew Tang. Hey, Aquila. If Grigoriy loses ban, I mean, he's 3-0 right now, so I cannot say anything. I cannot say anything. He wants to play the bunk cloud. He wants to have some fun. This is a tournament in which I allow my players to have some fun. It's a collegiate chess league. It's all about fun. It's all about having a good time. College players getting together, playing some chess, having a good time, enjoying, creating a team bonding experience, and just putting their programs, their chess programs, on the university's map. So that's kind of the idea of this collegiate chess league, and I think it's a great idea. And if we can have some fun with it, why not? Why not? Didn't Magnus once beat Penguin by switching his king and queen? I'm sure he did, yeah. I'm sure he did. Hey, Julesi, thank you.
Glitch cat, glitch cat, glitch cat, glitch cat.
We're getting the glitch cat again. Thank you very much, Julesi, for the 100 bits. Stinger. Anything goes. Yeah. Pretty much anything goes in Bullet. But this one is actually a 5+2 game. So you get pretty much everything, yeah? You get the increment, you get 5 minutes. So I have to say the bunk cloud is a very shaky opening decision. But once again, anything goes at this point. Mizzou already clinched, so I'm not too upset about it. Bishop to b2. Now bishop a3. How do you defend the pawn, actually? So bishop a3, if you go king to c1, then I'm just going to take on e5. And if you take on a3, then I'm just simply going to take with the queen, and then I'm going to insert the queen to b2, and that's going to win me a pawn. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what he's doing. I guess bishop c3 makes some sense. But now the knight is going to d5 to pick up this bishop, also opening up this bishop in the meantime and creating this very annoying tension. I'm threatening to take on e4, and you cannot take back because I have knight takes f2. And that's a double attack. So this knight b4 is a very sneaky move. And to be honest, where is the defense? Where is the defense for white? I don't see it. It's actually quite playable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. This one is not looking good. That's the thing. You play the Buncloud and you think you're going to have a fun game, but you're actually not going to have like a super fun game. You're going to have some sort of a suffering situation, yeah, in which all of your pieces are awkwardly placed and you're trying to get them out. And I don't know, what's the fun in it? But hey, anything goes. Mizzou qualified already. Mizzou went on to the finals, in which, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be meeting UC Berkeley. So UC Berkeley beat us yesterday in Division 2. So Mizzou B played UC Berkeley B, and UC Berkeley won. And then I think in Division 1, the highest ranked division in the Collegiate Chess League, we're going to meet in the finals. So that should be interesting. Lots of potential to improve your position in the Buncloud. Yes, I guess that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, let's go f3. Let's go f3. Kick this knight away. This knight is kind of annoying. So f3, if you take, then I can go something like knight g5. And I think I have some ideas there. Also knight b5. If you take on e5, then I have... So f3, if you take on e5, then I actually have knight b5 attacking two pieces at the same time. Knight on e5 and the bishop on a3. So you might have some problems. Knight b5 he starts with. But now what if I just take... Wait, what is this? So bishop takes e4. He wants to go knight takes a3. And that defends the pawn on c2. But at the same time, giving up such a central knight and getting your own knight all the way on the sideline just doesn't feel right. Just simply doesn't feel right. Anyway, we're going to stick with this one. Mikhail Antipov did win against Panchanatham. So another point scored for Mizzou. Mikhail Antipov finishes with 3 out of 4. But we're going to stay with this one, guys. The game between Penguin GM and Grigoriy Oparin. They're both of them trying to go 4 out of 4 in this match. Who's going to make it? So right now, a lot of things are threatened by specifically knight takes f2. That's going to be a fork. So you have to defend this pawn on f2. The question is how. And it doesn't seem to provide a very easy answer. Because king to e1, I'm just simply going to be able to take your pawn. Not only that I'm taking your pawn, but I'm also opening up this square for the knight, this d3 square for the knight. So actually king to e1, after bishop takes c2. After bishop takes c2, you still have bishop takes b4. So this is not that bad. Okay, he has to go king e1. I don't think anything else can be played at this point. You have to defend that pawn on f2. Who won the match? So right now it's actually already won by Mizzou. This is round number 4, but I think Mizzou is already leading 9.5 to, I guess, 5.5. No, I don't know. But we already scored 9.5 points, and we only need 8.5 points to clinch the match. So Mizzou did win the semifinals. This is the last round, and we're focusing on the game between the players that are currently on a perfect score, 3 out of 3. That is Grandmaster Grigoriy Oparin from Mizzou and Grandmaster Andrew Tang, Penguin GM from Princeton. And they're having some fun. They're playing the Buncloud. Quite interesting opening. Okay, so white decides to go king to c1, sidesteps this double attack with knight takes f2. Black can still take on f2. But I guess white just plans to move the rook and say, okay, that's fine. Even though, I mean, that's a pawn. That's a pawn. And not only that, but after knight takes f2, then knight is going to go back to g4. And that knight on g4, you're never going to kick it away. There's no more pawn to go f3 and kick the knight away from g4. The knight on g4 is just going to be a monster of a piece. He goes for that. King to b2. What is this? What is this? Okay. All right. Interesting game. I wouldn't call it interesting. Okay, so knight takes h1, queen takes e4, and then what? Huh. I mean, white has to complicate matters at this point. There's simply no way around it. Your position is probably losing. So you have to find a way to complicate matters and try to take advantage of the fact that we're playing a blitz game and hope that black will at some point blunder something, which is very possible. With 30 seconds, anything can happen. So king to b2, knight takes h1. I see queen takes e4, knight comes back to d5 to defend the rook on a8. And I don't see the continuation for white. Nevertheless, oh, knight to d3. Wow. Wow. But now I can just simply take. Queen takes d3, and now I will have 3 pieces for the queen. So if you go back, then I'm just simply going to take on a3, I think. Wait. So what do we do? Ah, yeah. So you cannot go king b1 because I take on a3, and if you take on e4, I have queen c1 checkmate. And if you go on c2, then I can just simply maybe just go knight b4 and make a draw or something along those lines. Yeah, queen takes d3 happens on the board. Now we have 3 pieces for the queen. I have to say, with 26 seconds playing against the queen, this feels right. This feels right for white. 3 pieces is a lot of pieces. They can create some very, very unpleasant attacks against the queen. And black still has a lot of weaknesses. So if you take on g2, then suddenly these 2 files are opening for the rooks, and I'm going to be able to insert one of them on the 7th rank. Queen to e4, I think, is a good move. Rook f1, immediately targeting the weaknesses. And now keep going. Rook f3, rook f1, or just bring this knight back into play, probably via b5. Yes, he's going for it. Queen to b7, an interesting way of defending, probably the only way. Okay, just double up. Let's go. Rook f4 or rook f3 and then rook f1. Bishop to e2, trying to go to f3. Wait. Bishop f3, that's it. You don't have c6. Yeah. Bishop f3, you don't have c6 because of knight d6. He forgot about this move. Bishop e2 was a very sneaky move. And if you actually take on f3, I can just simply take on c7 first. Queen to b8 has to be played. But now after knight takes c7, yeah, bishop takes a8. And it seems like this one is going to go down Grigory's way. That's a rook and 2 bishops for the queen and a pawn. It's not going to be enough compensation for black. And yeah, also probably if you manage to land this bishop on d6, the game it can be called. Just go b4, yep, or a3. You have to stop basically black from playing b4. Yep. Rook a1, get on the a file now. Or rook h3, he's trying to go like this. A very smart way of doing things. Also, he's trying to go rook d3, bishop d4, bishop c5. Now you can go bishop d4 first. Yeah, bishop d4, put the bishop on c5, get the bishop to d6, and the game is winning. Rook to g3. Okay, he's softening up the dark squares even more. Come on, at some point you have to go bishop d4. Bishop d3, what is this? Bishop d3 is a very strange move, I have to say. Rook a5, yep, pick up this pawn. It's just such a bad position for black. Rook g7, rook takes b5. Now get the bishop to c5. He really doesn't want to get the bishop to c5. He likes this bishop on c3 to just defend the king. b5, push. No, rook c4. He's playing... okay. Somehow I feel like he's playing with his prey at this point. I feel he's just playing with his prey at this point. Yeah, king b3, very nice. Very nice. d4, okay. Now get the rook to a1. That could be an interesting idea. Even though rook takes b2 is coming. Okay, get the rook to a2. That's good. I don't know, man. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it. Oparin lives. Hey, Red Titan. You don't see a double bunk cloud every day. That's true. Hey, what's up, ChessTube? He's calculating d5. He must be calculating d5. But that's the problem. He's getting down to his last 10 seconds because he's playing. He's playing around. Wait, what happened? Did he lose connection? Did he lose connection? Come on, get back! 1 second! I think he lost connection. That's so sad. Yeah, I think he lost connection. I don't understand what happened. Yeah, he lost connection. And I think he reconnected in like the last second. And then he just didn't manage to make a move. That's sad. So... there's one more game going on. The one between Incredible Bubachik, that's Chris Repka, and Daniel Moreno. And Chris is the one with the knight, I think. Yeah, this one is not looking good. So Harshit won his game against Aaron Master, and now Chris is just going, okay, if you're not going to take on e5, of course, because of knight d3, you're going to give a check first. That was a good try by Chris. And now we're going to see after queen takes e5. Oh, he's not going to take on e5. We're going to see if white knows how to win with queen against knight. King f3, game is over. What's happening? What is it? Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? What? What? What is this? Guys, what's happening? Knight e3 was a fork? No, it wasn't, because the knight was actually pinned. The knight was actually pinned. But okay, so what's the point of allowing the king back in the center? It's funny because the position is not okay. It's very easy, but it's not that easy. Like, I'm always going to be able to like stick around like this with the knight. Okay, just give another check. I think he's just having some fun. Daniel Moreno is just having some fun with it. Trying to win with a queen versus the knight. Chris is still fighting. That's good. Okay, what's happening? Why did he let the king to go out? Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me. Let's get Chris back with us. There he is. Yeah, and the game is over. Finally, the king has been separated by the knight from the knight, and the knight has been captured. So, I think he doesn't know how to win. No. I'm pretty sure he knew how to win. He was just having some fun. I mean, he did it on purpose. Like, he actually took his king all the way to the center for no reason. All right, so final score. Grigoriy, 3 points. Mikhail Antipov won his last game, so he's on 3 points as well. Then Incredible Bubachik stayed on 2. And International Master Raja won his game and is now on 2.5 out of 4. So the total was how many points? 3 plus 3, that's 6, plus 2, that's 8, plus 2, that's 2.5, that's 10.5. 10.5 to 7.5. No, to 5.5. 10.5 to 5.5. That's 16 points total. Mizzou wins and goes on to the finals, where we're going to be meeting UC Berkeley Team A in the grand finals of the Collegiate Chess League season number 2, division number 1. This is division number 1, the highest ranked division in the Collegiate Chess League. So congratulations to Princeton. They had a good run. This was a good match. Definitely gave us a sweat, but in the end, Mizzou takes it. So thank you all for tuning in. That's gonna be it from me. I'm going to probably be back a little bit later tonight, but for the moment, I'm going to say goodbye.